Okay, I've been sitting on this for 3 weeks, and I feel like I'm going to combust. I can't talk to anyone in my family, obviously. I can't talk to my friends because they just wouldn't get it. So I'm throwing this out to the void of the internet because I need validation that I am not the crazy, selfish villain my father is painting me to be. This is about my college fund and my car accident and Vegas. I'm 19. I've been working since I was 16 to save for university, but the real bulk of my tuition money, about $85,000, was in a 529 savings plan that my grandparents set up for me. It was untouchable until I enrolled. The key phrase there is was. My parents divorced 5 years ago. My dad remarried very quickly to Cheryl, a woman who honestly seems nice, but lives in a permanent cloud of denial about his issues. My dad has always had a problem with gambling. It started small, sports bets, poker nights. After the divorce, it spiraled. He lost his first job over expense account fraud linked to trying to cover bad debts. But he always kept his hands off my 529. He always promised, "That's sacred, honey. That's your future. I'd never touch it." 3 weeks ago, I was driving home from my summer job on the highway when a truck blew a tire and swerved into my lane. I swerved to avoid it, hit the guardrail, and totaled my car. It was terrifying, but I was lucky. Just a mild concussion and a badly sprained wrist. My car, however, was demolished. I was stranded on the side of the road, dizzy and shaking, waiting for the tow truck and the police report. My phone was nearly dead. The first person I called was my father. "Dad, I'm okay, but I totaled the car. I'm on 95 just past exit 12. Can you come sit with me? My phone's about to die." His voice on the other end was strangely high-pitched and strained. "The car? Oh, well that's bad. Look, honey, I can't. I'm actually tied up, like really tied up. I just can't leave right now. Call your mom. She's closer." I felt a sharp stab of hurt. He wouldn't even come to the scene of a crash, even though he lived 20 minutes away. "Dad, I need a ride home and I need to deal with the insurance. I can barely hold my phone." "I told you, I can't. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to manage this one. You're an adult now. Call the tow company." And then he did something utterly bizarre. He hung up. Not a quick gotta go, but a sudden click. My mom eventually came, bless her. She spent the next day dealing with the insurance claim, the hospital follow-up, and the rental car logistics. My father was totally unreachable for 3 days. His phone went straight to voicemail. I finally heard from him on Monday evening. He sounded exhausted, but weirdly euphoric. He called my mom's house, where I was staying. "Hey, sweetheart, so sorry about the car thing. Crazy timing. Listen, I'm back. I just got back." "Back from where, Dad? I was stranded on the highway for 2 hours and you couldn't be bothered to show up. Mom had to take off work. Where the hell were you?" My voice was tight with anger. "Okay, look, I wasn't just tied up. I was in Vegas." Vegas. My stomach dropped. I didn't even need to ask. "Vegas? For 3 days? You ignored my emergency calls for a Vegas trip?" It was an opportunity, a high roller tournament. I told you I couldn't leave. And this is the important part, the reason I didn't want to tell you. I had to take some money out of your 529. The blood drained from my head. I felt dizzy, the way I did after the accident. "You, what? Dad, that's almost $90,000. You can't just take some out. That's locked." It was locked, but I'm the primary account holder. I had to liquidate the mutual funds. I took out $80,000, and I was on a hot streak. I was up $15,000. I was so close to turning it into enough to pay for your entire 4 years. I just needed to ride the wave. I couldn't speak. I looked at my mom, who was listening from the kitchen, her face gray with horror. "A hot streak," I finally managed, the word a ragged whisper. "Dad, That's my tuition. You sold my future for a hot streak? He started shouting now, instantly defensive. Stop being so dramatic. I was gonna replace it and double it. But then, the house always wins. I lost the whole 80 and the 15 I was up. It's all gone, every penny. Silence. The kind of silence that swallows the air and leaves you suffocating. You drained my entire college fund. You took every dollar my grandparents saved for me while I was waiting for a tow truck after a crash. And you lost it all on a casino floor. But here's the thing, honey, he said, his voice dropping, trying to sound reasonable, compassionate, fatherly. I need you to understand. I just need you to be supportive right now. This is stressful for me. I have to face Cheryl. And you're being really selfish. I was trying to make things better for us. Why aren't you focusing on the fact that you're fine? You have your health. You can just take out loans. Selfish. Me. The victim of financial ruin and emotional abandonment was selfish. I hung up the phone and walked straight to the bathroom and threw up. Not from my concussion, but from the sheer, stunning toxicity of his logic. The family betrayal was complete. My father chose the ephemeral thrill of gambling over my long-term future, then gaslighted me for daring to hold him accountable. My mother, bless her fierce heart, immediately called the 529 administrator. The account was indeed at a zero balance. Because he was the primary account holder and because the account was in his name with me as the beneficiary, he hadn't technically broken the law. He just committed an act of unforgivable ethical and emotional abuse. My grandparents were devastated. They had spent years building that up for me. I realized then that calling him, shouting at him, or begging him would achieve nothing. He was incapable of remorse. He was still worried about facing Cheryl. He was still worried about his vibe. He had just secured a new, high-paying job 6 months ago, a director-level position that required a spotless financial background and a high degree of fiduciary trust. He ruined my future. I decided to ruin his present. I found the name of the CEO of his new company, a massive blue-chip financial firm. I drafted a careful, factual, utterly devastating email. I didn't scream. I didn't call him names. I simply laid out the facts. The account, a 529 education savings plan established by my grandparents. The action, account liquidated, proof of zero balance attached. The timing, confirmed withdrawal 3 days prior to his trip to Las Vegas. The amount, the total verifiable balance of $85,450. The context, the funds were used for gambling confirmed by his own admission. I included a key quote about the hot streak and the Pebble Beach tournament, misremembering another betrayal story I'd heard, but the point was clear. It was for lavish spending, not necessity. The conclusion. Did this reflect the financial integrity and trustworthiness required of a director-level executive at their firm? I hit send. It was terrifying and exhilarating, a cold, hard counterstrike. Then came the second, equally satisfying target, Cheryl, his new wife. I found her on Facebook, easily. She had posted gushing photos of them on their honeymoon, praising him as her stable, responsible rock. The denial she lived in was thick, but I was about to shatter it. I messaged her directly. Me. Cheryl, this is Jessica, your husband's daughter. I need to talk to you urgently. It's about his recent business trip to Vegas and our financial security. She called me almost immediately, sounding annoyed and dismissive. Look, Jessica, your father told me you're really upset about your car. He said you're being quite ungrateful because he's dealing with a lot of stress right now. He just got back from a really important weekend with clients and he needs space. Please respect that. Clients, not gambling. The layers of lies were incredible. He wasn't with clients, Cheryl. He was in a casino. He liquidated my entire $85,000 college fund, every dollar my grandparents saved for me, while I was waiting for a tow truck after a crash. And he lost it all on a casino floor. Silence. Not the shouting silence, but a terrified gasp. "You're lying," she whispered, the denial cracking. "He told me he had a few drinks, but he didn't gamble. He's been clean for a year. He promised." "I have the account statements, Cheryl. The balance is zero. He took the money out right after my crash. Ask him where the $85,000 is. Ask him why he told me I was selfish for being upset about losing my future. Ask him what a hot streak means." I hung up knowing the devastation I had wrought, but feeling no guilt. He had made his choices. I was simply forcing him to live with the consequences. The fallout was nuclear. The call from his employer came that afternoon. My father, sputtering with fury and panic, called me from his office line. "What the hell did you do, Jessica? I just got escorted out of the building. I'm on administrative leave. The CEO is involved. They're saying I violated the financial integrity policy. My job, my career is ruined." "My college education is ruined, Dad. I was stranded on the side of the road and you chose a slot machine over me? You chose to ruin my future, so I made sure you didn't have one either. You don't get to manage millions of dollars for a company when you can't be trusted with $85,000 for your own daughter." He started to sob, a pathetic, manipulative sound. "I can't believe my own daughter would do this to me. You're destroying our family. I'm gonna lose Cheryl. I swear, I was gonna pay it back. You just don't understand the pressure." "I understand. The pressure of having a $400,000 education looming over me, which you just vaporized. You chose to be a father for the hot streak, and now you're paying the house fee." I hung up the phone and blocked his number. Later that evening, Mark, my half-brother, called. He'd just left their house. "It's a war zone, Beth. Cheryl is gone. She took her things, left a note, and told him she's filing for divorce. She found his hidden gambling credit card debt, too. She said you were the only honest person she'd ever met in the family." The divorce, the job loss, the humiliation, all of it was the direct result of his one ultimate betrayal. He had created a massive, catastrophic problem for me, and I had simply reflected that magnitude back onto his own life. I know some people will read this and say I went too far, that I should have handled it privately. But what is private about a father abandoning his injured child, stealing his entire future, and then demanding an apology? I'm filing police reports and consulting a lawyer about the 529 liquidation. It's complicated, but possible. But as of tonight, my father is unemployed, his marriage is over, and the consequences of his addiction and his stunning, breathtaking selfishness are now undeniable. I'll figure out college. I'll take out the loans he suggested, but he will never again have the respect, trust, or blind faith of his daughter. The selfish daughter saved herself and in the process delivered the most dramatic resolve.